Hey y'all, so nobody asked for my opinion on this topic, but everybody else has put their 2 cents in, and I feel like everybody's afraid to give the unpopular opinion. So I'm just gonna play devil's advocate on the Mackenzie Shirilla case, where 2022, she was in a car wreck where she was the driver. She was going like 100 miles an hour, crashed into a brick building, killing her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and her friend Davion Flanagan. So she was convicted of 2 counts of murder. The prosecution went with she did this on purpose and it was premeditated. She chose trial by judge. She had that option and she chose to do that instead of trial by jury. I personally think that's where she fucked up, one of the ways, because honestly, just I still need to do more of a deep dive on this, but I honestly think that had she had trial by jury, it either would have been a mistrial or she would have gotten a lesser charge. I honestly believe that. Because the prosecution made a good case. They really did. And her defense, her parents were not helping her case. And like the judge, I think she had made her mind up pretty early on just based on the little footage I saw. Um I will say I first even just heard about the case like I think it was last week when I saw the Netflix documentary Crash. I didn't even know anything about the case, and so when I first saw the documentary with no other context, I honestly was really on the fence. Like I was not convinced that she did it on purpose at all, let alone premeditated. Especially because her mom brought up the fact that she had been diagnosed like a couple of years prior with POTS. I don't remember what that stands for, but I do know that it's a condition where it can cause you to black out. It can cause you to pass out. She was saying that potentially that was why. And then, somebody brought up, well, if she blacked out, why would she have been going 100 miles an hour? Well, technically, when you do black out, initially your like her foot could have been pinned to the gas. Like that can actually happen. So that is a plausible thing. Like that is something that could have happened. And because she said she had no memory of what had happened right after the crash, mind you, so she was in a seatbelt. She was the driver, obviously. The other two were not in seatbelts. So basically, the prosecution went with like it was premeditated, blah blah blah, because she had gone the exact same route like maybe a week prior, because there were like cameras in the area. And I'm like, okay, I need more information on that, because for one, is it an area she frequented often, or was it like a random area? Did they ask her why she was there a week prior? Like, do we know? You know what I mean? Like, because like just because she happened to have been in that same area doesn't mean that she was like scouting it out or whatever. Like that's what they said essentially. um it does look bad. Like it does look bad. And if you don't know anything about the case, like you're just gonna have to look it up, because there's a lot. Essentially, she was 17 years old when it happened. I believe she turned 18 like very shortly after, unfortunately for her. So I believe she was tried as an adult. But either way, she just turned 18 anyway, so she is in prison. She What was I gonna say? They had been in a relationship in high school. Apparently, according to people that know them, it had been pretty toxic there for a while. Like they would break up, get back together again. We've seen footage or heard audios of like them arguing and her being very like kind of hostile in those arguments. So they made it out like she was abusive and stuff like that. And like nobody that knows them ever, I don't believe, ever said that she was. Like I don't believe any of their friends or anything ever said that like she was abusive towards him. They just said that it was like toxic. But essentially, the prosecution painted her out to be like this very evil, sinister, psychotic girlfriend, Um, and said that she planned this out because I guess because he was going to break up with her or something. I don't know. But like I said, apparently they would break up and get back together all the time anyway, regardless. So that's kind of what they went with. She was convicted of 2 counts of murder, sentenced to 15 years to life to be served concurrently, I think, which I think yeah, that means that it's like all done at the same time, essentially, as to where consecutive would be she serves 15 years and then she has to serve another 15 years. It's a little confusing to me, but anyway. So that's, she, at a certain point, she has a potential to go up for parole and whatever, if the parole board says so. But honestly, with everything that's going on right now and all the stuff that has come out, it's not looking good for her, just because people are really making her out to be like You know what I mean? And the thing is, and listen, I'm not Team Kinsey. Like, I'm not at all. Um, but I'm just playing devil's advocate because I just feel like we're so much in a culture of people love to the cancel culture. People love to vilify others. People love to crucify others. People love to have like an enemy or a bad guy that they can point at. You know what I mean? People love that shit. I feel like that's human nature and it always has been, but especially with social media, TikTok, whatever, like I feel like it's just gotten, it just gets to this point, like people like to hop on a trend, you know, hop on the bandwagon, and like if we love this person, bet let's get on that. If we hate this person, bet let's get on that. And I don't think that's fair, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that you know, apparently some people said, like classmates or whatever, some of them said that she was like a mean girl. Others have said that she wasn't. So it's kind of like, you know, whatever, whether you like her or not, that doesn't mean that she's a murderer. And in my opinion, just based on what I know currently, the evidence that was presented in the case in court was pretty much all circumstantial. Like, they did not provide one shred of evidence that actually proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that she did it on purpose, much less premeditated. Now, I believe I said this before, but when I got done watching the documentary without any other context, I was very on the fence. And in fact, I was like, maybe it was an accident or whatever. And then when I watched some YouTube videos and I heard some of the calls between her and her friends, family, stuff like that, I was like, oh, actually, she did this on purpose. I was like, I think she might have done this on purpose. But I still don't believe that it was premeditated. It could have been, I don't know. But to me, this is what they're saying. If it was premeditated and she went through with it, that's essentially saying that she not only planned out a week prior, like really planned out, this is what I'm gonna do, not only putting her own life in at risk, which maybe that was the plan, you know, murder suicide type thing. But then also that night, when their friend Davion, I guess they were all leaving a party super, super late at night. It was actually like early in the morning, late at night, you know. I think it was like 2, 3 in the morning, something like that. After a party. I guess he asked for a ride, right? So if you're saying this was premeditated and she went through with it, you're saying that she planned this out. She was going to kill her boyfriend in this car crash, potentially herself. And then their friend was like, hey, can I get a ride? And she just went, okay. And instead of telling him, no, I can't give you a ride, or maybe going, oh, fuck, he's in the car, I guess I'm gonna have to, like, not do this tonight, you're saying that she just was like, I don't give a fuck, I guess he can die too. And then just, I mean, that's, because that is a level of sinister and psychotic, like, and that's what we're saying? Like, I don't know that there's enough evidence to say that. And there's so many people that know them that don't agree with that either. So it's like, now, like I said, is it possible that she did it on purpose? After all of the things that I've heard, and you know, I feel like, yeah, maybe. But I think it was more of like a in the moment crime of passion type thing, where like they were in the car arguing, whatever. And even still, it may not have been she was intentionally trying to like kill them or something. It could have just been like they were arguing, she snapped, and I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing, is that we don't actually know. The only people that really know are the people that were in the car. And 2 of them, unfortunately, are dead, and may they rest in peace. Like, that's it. That's the thing. And this is another thing, is why people don't like to say the unpopular opinion, because 2 lives were lost. 2 innocent lives were lost. And they did not deserve to die. But also, if potentially this girl is either innocent because it was an accident, or if it was a heat of the moment thing, that's very different than premeditated murder, especially of 2 people. You know, that's very different. She should still be in prison, but it's still, I just feel like it's different. I don't know, I just feel like it's different. You know, people snap. They do. That doesn't make it okay at all. That's not what I'm saying. But I just feel like, personally, I just had to give my opinion, because I just feel like everybody's jumping in on, oh, she did this, and she's evil, and she's all these, and then people are talking about how like in prison she's like joking around and she's like not showing any remorse or whatever. But it's like, for one, everybody deals with things differently, for one. Also, what do you want her to do? Like, she's in prison. Like, what, she's trying to make the best of her situation. Like, is she possibly a mean girl and a spoiled brat and her parents make her worse by yeah, for sure. For sure. She, just based on the conversations I've heard, the prison calls or whatever, the collect calls between her and her friends and her all seem very immature. And I think they're all what, like, probably like, what would they be, like 20, early 21, something like that. Like, they're all still really young, but they seem very, very immature for their age, and her especially. Just the way that they talk, the things they talk about, it seems extremely like, oh, I'm listening to some teenage girls talk about stuff. That's what it feels like. And she does seem a little catty, a little like whatever. She could have been a mean girl. I could see that in her personality for sure. Does that mean she's a killer or a psycho or what? Not necessarily. It doesn't mean she's evil either. Like, it just doesn't. And just because she's like kikiing it up with other women in prison and stuff like that, she's in prison. She knows that she's there at least for 15 years, if not life. You know what I mean? Like, she knows that. So she's, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know that she doesn't cry when she goes to sleep. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, and also we have to remember, a conviction does not mean that that's what actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, people are falsely convicted all the time. Now, am I saying she's completely innocent? No, I don't know. What I am saying is, I don't feel like any of us have enough evidence to say one way or the other, because there's just so many variables, and they literally, to my knowledge, like I said, I'm gonna do some more deep diving because I'm very into true crime cases. I'm actually considering doing my master's in like forensic psychology anyways. But like, no, like, from what I know currently, the prosecution did not provide one piece of evidence that actually proves that she not only did this on purpose, but it wasn't like it was premeditated. Like, I don't believe they presented any evidence that proves that. And that's why I think that if she had a jury, she would not have gotten the same verdict. I just feel like people need to remember that just because she was convicted of this, that doesn't mean she did it. And it doesn't mean it was intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just because that's what the judge decided, that doesn't mean that that's reality, for one. So also, with people saying she shows no remorse, it's like, well, if she didn't do it on purpose, why would she have remorse? Like, remorse is like a very specific word. Like, I feel bad for what I did. But it's like, she didn't, if she truly did not do it on purpose, if she truly believes she did not do it on purpose, she would not have remorse. Like, because it's like, yes, she would feel bad that her action, her driving, whatever, and that she lost her friend and her boyfriend, who she calls the love of her life. But like, listen, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like people deal with shit differently, and I don't think that her behavior in prison means that she's this terrible person. Like, I don't believe that at all. I just think people I don't know, I don't know. Maybe she did do it on purpose. And if she did, and it was premeditated, and she willingly went ahead and just went through with it, knowing that there was another person in the car, and all that, fuck her. And I hope she rots in prison, right? But if there's even a sliver of a chance that especially that it was an accident or something, that's not fair. You know, not only that she's in prison, but that people are just destroying her character. You know what I mean? Calling her evil and stuff like that. Like, I've heard some evil shit. Like, I listen to true crime podcasts all the time. She's not evil. Even if she did it on purpose, I don't think she's evil. I think that like I said, I believe if it was on purpose, I believe that it was a heat of the moment, crime of passion type thing. That doesn't make it okay, but that doesn't make her evil either. I've heard some evil shit, and that's not her. But I don't know. I'm still a bit on the fence. I can't decide if she did it on purpose or not. I'm leaning more towards she did do it on purpose now, but I don't know that it was premeditated. And I just personally feel like, if we're talking about, like, I just feel like if it was a trial by jury, I don't believe that she would have gotten 2 counts of murder. I truly don't. I don't. But I guess we'll see, because I think she's trying to get another trial or something. Honestly, I don't think she's going to get it. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I already know I'm going to get heat for this. But listen, I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck, okay? I don't give a fuck. All right, people are allowed to have opinions, okay? And this is my opinion. Those boys did not deserve to die, and I feel really bad for their families. And I mean, genuinely, like, it's fucked up. But also, she is a human being as well. And I think that this is just one of those cases that just get blown up, and it's like, oh my god, she's this teen girl and she was on TikTok before this, and now it's like, I think it's just, what's that called, sensational. Like, it sells. So like, I don't know. Anyway,